Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the group exhibit Hydrogen Fuel Cells and Batteries. We're here at the Hanover Fair in the year of 2016. My name is Mona and I will be your moderator for the next session. We will kick off with our topic and we will talk about the implementation of hydrogen fuel in local public transport in Hesse, in Germany. And for that, please welcome with me on stage the Vice Chairman of the H2BZ, Hydrogen and Fuel Cell Initiative Hessen, Dr. Heinrich Lienkamp. Big hands, please.
Good morning.
Good morning. Please have a seat.
Thank you very much.
It is very nice to see you here. For those of you who don't know, we have a face that has been coming here for several years already. And I believe it is the 1998, that was the first time you have been here. So please tell us, that is almost 20 years ago, how did the fair look like?
It was a little bit smaller regarding the hydrogen, of course. At this time, Mr. Arno Evers held this fair. And at this time, we came the first time from Frankfurt on the Hanover Trade Fair to show the public our huge source of hydrogen we have in Frankfurt.
So what brings you personally here to the fair, and what brings you here for consecutive years?
Well, I'm dealing with hydrogen since more than 30 years. First as a project engineer, then as a plant manager for distributing, compressing hydrogen via pipelines to our customers. At this time, 1998, also we bought our first power station based on hydrogen. We have a lot of experience in dealing with hydrogen up to very high pressures. And at this time, we had a development of cars with fuel cells as a power generator. So it was our passion to show the public our capability.
And you are here today to represent the H2BZ Wasserstoff Brennstoffzellen-Initiative Hessen. So what does the initiative exactly do?
Well, we of course support the industry in Hesse and in Germany regarding implementing hydrogen and fuel cells in the energy and also for the cars, for the personal cars, and also for the public transportation.
And for those of you who don't know, there's a really large booth. It is located at E41. And can you highlight some things that you brought to the fair and who is at your booth?
Well, in the year 2004, we started a project with Italy, Regione Lombardia, with the city of Mantua, and two universities, one from Denmark, one from Sweden. And the target of this project was to implement the infrastructure for high-pressure hydrogen, 350 and 700 bar, in Germany and in Italy. And in Germany, we built the first filling station for cars, for hydrogen, cars and buses, for compressed hydrogen up to 700 bars.
That is very interesting. So the Hessen initiative is not only involved in German products, but seems to be like all over the world.
Not all over the world, but all over Europe.
Yeah. Today we are going to talk about public transportation. And public transportation does also include railways. And I'm pretty sure many people of you here have arrived here by railway today. And there's something that is really surprising, which is 50% of the railway tracks in Germany are not equipped with an electrical infrastructure. In fact, they are served with diesel vehicles. There is a German company called Alstom, located in Salzgitter in Lower Saxony. And there is a project going on which has the objective to implement a hydrogen-based infrastructure until 2020, I believe. How is Hessen involved?
Well, Alstom is the first company worldwide who has a project and a target to develop and to build up a train which is equipped with hydrogen and fuel cell and an electrical motor. It's a purely electrical driven train. And Alstom is developing this in Salzgitter in Lower Saxony. And they are dealing with this project, and they are funded by the German government, by the Ministry for Economy. And the target is to have 2018-2019 the first train based on a former diesel train equipped with a fuel cell, hydrogen, and an electrical motor.
So I am understanding right that we are using hydrogen to integrate for the German transportation system. How would that look like in practice? Would we have hydrogen tanks on the trains?
Yes, it's the basic train is a common diesel train. You put off the diesel infrastructure, and you put in a fuel cell and an electrical motor. And on the roof of this train, you have the tanks, the high pressure tanks for hydrogen.
And how much pressure would that be? How many bars?
It's planned to go up to 350 bar.
So we know with lots of bar, we have the fear that there might be an explosion, especially for public transportation. Do I have to fear about that?
No, I think we have a lot. We have more than, I think, 100 years experience in dealing with high pressure cylinders for hydrogen. The common cylinder is 200 bar. But to get more mileage, you need a high pressure to load these vessels. And these vessels are now developed since 20 years, and they are tested, and they are a totally different concept, and they are safe.
So we need to refuel our infrastructure, and the same is applicable for trains. And I can imagine it might take a long time until the whole train is fueled.
No, the train is equipped with 2 tanks together for 180 kilogram hydrogen.
And how much of a size is that? Would that be like?
You know the buses for LNG?
Yeah.
Not for LNG, for CNG, for compressed natural gas. And you can see on the buses, on the top, on the roof,
exactly.
the high pressure vessels. It's nearly the same. It's also on the roof, and hydrogen has a very positive attitude. If you have a leakage, it's always going up into the air, so you will not get an explosive atmosphere.
So what distance can we reach with one tank?
It's planned to have to cover a distance of about 200 kilometers. No, sorry, it's one way. in total, it should be 600 to 800 kilometers.
600 to 800 kilometers, that is all the way from the north to all the way to the south of Germany, right?
Yes, but it's planned to have this in local train systems. And these local trains are turning around the whole day.
And how many minutes would refueling be, or how many hours?
We have planned it for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, that is a really, really good timing. This is a really interesting project, and I just want to check if there are questions from the audience at this time. Please raise your hand if you have a question.
Hello, my name is Runar Sørås and I'm from Norway. I have a question regarding the safety issues. In Norway we have a lot of tunnels. Have you looked into the issues with the hydrogen in tunnels?
Yes, this is a question and very often people ask for this. As you know, 180 kilograms or 200 kilograms is not a lot of mass of hydrogen. And if you know, the tunnels are very big and they are also ventilated. And even if you have a leakage, what should not happen, because you have to guard and you have to watch the systems. You can ventilate it to a concentration. You will not have a safety problem.
And that was a very good question, and that that's why my next question will be: what other hurdles are there?
The first hurdle is, of course, you have to install, you have to build the infrastructure, and to build and to pay infrastructure is expensive. If we look on our existing infrastructure, it started with very small possibilities to fill a car. If you remember, the first car with an internal with a motor was driven by Bertha Benz, and she had to buy the gasoline in the pharmacy, and it was a long time from the first car to the cars and the density of cars we have now. And it's of course expensive to build and to pay such an infrastructure, and the demand for hydrogen is growing slowly. So it's the biggest hurdle is not a technical hurdle. It's also an economical hurdle, and of course, if you're thinking of railway vehicles, you need the approval of the German Bundesamt for railway vehicles, and of course, you need the approvals by the technical supervision organization, for example, the TÜV.
Yeah, exactly. So, when we are talking about innovation, and especially about renewables, it is important to be visionary, to have an outlook for the next years. And in regards with this project, how could the German infrastructure, not only the German infrastructure, but in general the railway infrastructure, look like, let's say, in 20 or 30 years?
Well, I hope we will have in 5 years the first filling station for railways in Frankfurt, and we will run in 5 or 20 or 10 years the first 20 railway vehicles in Frankfurt and the surrounding of in the Rhine-Main area, and I hope we will have a lot of buses with hydrogen as a fuel and also equipped with fuel cells.
And that is very true. In fact, we have many buses all over Germany already running based on fuel, on hydrogen. And is there also any activities in Hessen?
There is a brand new activity. There is a consortium existing of the city of Frankfurt or the operator of the buses in Frankfurt. the city of Mainz from Rhineland-Pfalz, who stayed, and the city of Wiesbaden, and they are building a concept to run 11 buses in the Rhine-Main area.
So there are all over Germany activities in transitioning to a hydrogen-based infrastructure. Unfortunately, we are almost out of time. I can allow one question for Dr. Lienkamp at this time. If you have a question at this time, you can raise your hand. If you want to take the question to the booth, then you can visit Dr. Lienkamp at booth number E41. He will be there with the Hydrogen and Fuel Cell Initiative Hessen. Thank you very much for this very nice talk. It was very interesting to talk to you. Big hands, please, for Dr. Lienkamp.
It's up to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Vielen Dank. Upcoming talk will be at 11 o'clock. We will have a podium discussion, and we will talk about further about the building up a hydrogen infrastructure, and for that we will hear representatives of the Linde AG, Honda, Shell, Daimler and H2 Mobility. That will only start in a few minutes time, so I ask you to please stay seated, have another drink and a coffee. Thank you very much.